welcome back to the Astrology of Things. I'm your host and certified astrologer, Sheena, and today I wanted to introduce you to a new tool and technology called ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a conversational artificial intelligence research project that was created by OpenAPI. It was released on November 30th, 2022. And it's a tool that is similar to Google, but a lot better. It's a tool where you can ask it a question and it provides you with an answer in a conversational format. It's a powerful tool. So I'm introducing it to you all as astrologers so that you are aware of what tools and technologies are out there, but also for you to be aware of and think about how these particular tools can impact the astrology fields, how it can impact those who are seeking astrological services, and even how it can impact those beginning their astrological journey and starting to learn astrology. So those are my intentions for this particular video. So I'm going to show you how ChatGPT works, and I'm going to ask it some astrology questions, and we can kind of assess and see what answers it gives us to those questions, and we can assess whether those questions are accurate or not. And if they are accurate, great. If they're not accurate, we can kind of look into what parts of the responses aren't accurate. Yeah, let's just have some fun. All right, so this is ChatGPT. If you go to chat.openai.com, you would be able to sign up for the platform. And I think you just have to give it your name, your email address, and a phone number. So it's free to sign up. Once you sign up, you'll enter this particular interface. So let's ask it a question. Can you give me the birth chart for someone born on August 13th, 2040 at 3:32 a.m. in, let's just do Sydney, Australia. Sydney, Australia. All right, so okay. So it's saying it's not able to generate a birth chart. So I probably shouldn't have used the term birth chart. I'm going to be a little bit more specific. Can you give me the rising sun and moon sign, zodiac sign, and degree for someone born on August 13th, 2010 at 3:32 a.m. in Sydney, Australia. So let's see what that revision is going to give us. Okay, so it noted that the time is in local time. So a part of calculating a birth chart, it requires you to change the local birth time into the UTC or GMT time. So you have to convert the time. So from what it's telling me, it sounds like it didn't convert the time into GMT or UTC here. So I think we need to revise it again. Can you give me the rising sun and moon zodiac sign and degree for someone born on August 13th, 2010 at 3? Let's just change the location. So Freetown does use Universal Standard Time. So hopefully there won't be any issues there. So we have a Scorpio rising. So I'm just going to just quickly verify this using my birth chart data. Using Astro Gold. So it seems like it didn't provide me the right information. So in Astro Gold, this exact birth information is giving me a Cancer rising sign. So here is the birth chart that I asked ChatGPT to calculate. And we can see here, if we look to the rising sign, it's a Cancer rising sign. And ChatGPT noted this particular chart as a Scorpio rising. So there's definitely something inaccurate in the way that ChatGPT is calculating these charts. Also, looking at the response here, it says it can give us approximate astrological positions. Unfortunately, that's not good enough. We really require precision when we're calculating birth charts. So we really need to know the accurate position of the rising sign. And if ChatGPT is not starting with the right astronomical data or astrological positions, that can really, really alter the results that it gives us, which we can see here in comparison to the actual calculated birth chart that I showed you in Astro Gold. So this is just an example of how a platform like this, we can't always trust what answer it's giving. So if let's say someone wasn't an astrologer and they wanted to use this to calculate or to know, these 3 placements about this particular birth information, they wouldn't know whether or not to trust it. They would assumingly trust this information, especially, let's say, if they don't have any astrology software or know how to go about verifying the information that the open API or that ChatGPT provided. So let's just ask it more of a general question about, let's say, a sun or moon rising sign placement. What is someone with a Scorpio rising, or let's do Cancer rising. Someone with a Cancer rising sign. Okay. So I think this answer provided for a Cancer rising is pretty decent. Of course, it doesn't get into all of the subtle nuances that can occur if if the moon itself is in different signs or making, different aspects to different planets. So of course it doesn't take into consideration all of those elements. But for the most part, I think it gives a good general answer about a Cancer rising sign. And I think it's good that it noted at the end that, the rising sign is just one part of the person's astrological chart. Let's ask it a general question about the zodiac signs. Okay. How many zodiac signs are fire signs? Okay. So, this is another good general answer about the fire signs. Okay. So then tell me about someone who has sun in the seventh house in Sagittarius. Yeah. Okay. So another generally good answer for this. Okay. So let's give it kind of like a scenario. I think, okay. So if someone was born with their sun at 8 degrees Sagittarius, kind of in 2 years, what degree would their sun have progressed to? Okay, so it knows about secondary progressions or solar arc. Yeah. Okay. So in the second paragraph, if someone was born with their sun at 8 degrees Sag in 2 years, it would progress to sun being at 10 degrees Sag. So this is calculated by adding 2 degrees to the natal position of 8 degrees. Okay, cool. Okay, so it did a good job at answering that question. Okay, let's see. What were the astrological alignments when the US went to the moon? All right, so taking a look at my answer, I do realize I wasn't specific enough in my question. So I won't assess the answer based on, having any rising sign accuracy or moon placement or specific moon placement accuracy. But I do want to point out, in general, some things that are kind of contradictory in its statement. So if we look to paragraph number 2, it said the moon was in the sign of Cancer, which I did verify, and that is true. And it's saying the moon was in the sign of Pisces. So I looked up where the moon was for both July 16th and July 20th. So on July 16th, the moon was in Leo, and on the 20th, the moon was in Libra. So within that 4-day time span, the moon was never conjunct the sun. And when the moon and sun are conjunct, that's a new moon. And then the second paragraph here, it's saying the new moon, it happened during a new moon phase, which is not accurate. And it's also saying the sun and moon were in opposition, which contradicts the fact that they said that it was a new moon phase. Because when the sun and moon are in opposition, that's a full moon. Another thing in the third paragraph, it's saying that Saturn was in the sign of Scorpio. And Saturn is a slow moving planet. And Saturn in this particular chart for July 16th or for July 20th, Saturn is still in Taurus. So that's way off. And it's saying that Uranus was in the sign of Leo, which is also inaccurate. So I'm really curious how it came to this answer. So yeah, these are things that we just have to be aware of if we want to use a tool like this, and to always verify the data and information that ChatGPT is giving us. So in conclusion, after asking ChatGPT some questions, my conclusions about ChatGPT so far is that it doesn't do a good job at birth chart calculations. So that is a big problem. It's really important for us to have accurate birth data. And if ChatGPT can't calculate the right birth chart to begin with, we're going to be working with a wrong set of data. So ChatGPT is not the best tool to use for birth chart calculation. So hopefully you have some alternative astrology tools to calculate birth charts, or maybe you know how to calculate a birth chart by hand, which is something that I strongly suggest you learn how to do. It's challenging, but I think it's a valuable thing to learn about astrology. And especially when we're thinking about technological advancement, we as astrologers still need to know how to do things without technology. We can't always depend on technology. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. What if we lose electricity one day? What if the internet somehow dissipates into the ether? We have to kind of be prepared for things like this. But also, even if we wanted to create our own technologies that calculate birth charts, well, in order to do that, we have to know first how to calculate a birth chart so we can kind of code and implement that logic into whatever software we are building. Another thing I've observed from ChatGPT is that it doesn't do a good job at synthesizing an entire birth chart. So ChatGPT is good at answering specific questions about a birth chart. So it can tell you the meaning of Sun in Capricorn. It can tell you the meaning of the moon in Virgo. But what it doesn't do is synthesize all of the different components in the birth chart together. So it's not going to be able to tell you kind of a nice synthesized story about a birth chart, or any type of chart you may calculate. And those are my main assessments about ChatGPT. And I'm not saying these are bad things. I think it's great that it's good to know that this tool is not going to be your go-to expert astrologer. So we as astrologers still have value and input. We are here to really understand whether or not I cannot say this. We are here to understand whether or not ChatGPT can give us the right, accurate answers, because we do have to make sure that the data is giving us is right. And the only way for us to do that is to know your astrology.